About the bar, and I'm Captain Keeneland. Trust the profits. It's the formula here. Doing a little thing we used to call capping the card. We're going to change it up. We're going to call it profits picks from now on. It's got a catchier name, in my opinion. What are profits picks? Well, if you really want to know what our picks are, give us some support. Click that join button down there on any one of our videos, or go to our YouTube page and click the join button on our main page. Any of our videos has this button as well. You can join at the Saturday subscription level. We'll make sure you get at least one Saturday sheet, the best sheet of the week, all access. That's the $50 support level per month. $50 per month gets you access to all of our sheets. All the sheets that we put out, we say 5+ per week. It's really more than that. We're going to be putting out a ton of these sheets. I think we might even put out as many as 10 per week. And you have some say in terms of what sheets you want. If you want a certain park, let us know. We'll try to accommodate if you're in that all access group. But let's get on to the picks, the freebies. These are the free picks that we're handing out here. I hate that term, but here we go. This is what it's all about. The safe play. Wow, how do I pronounce this? Vita Emi, Vitemi, Vitemi. Either way, 9 to 5. Not great odds on this horse, obviously, but this is a safe play. He is the best in class. He's got the best jockey trainer combo of the group. Diodoro and Gaffleone, 70% in the money. He's going to be the early speed in this race. You can see that he's the pace setter. If you look at our pace profile on the right hand side there, at the distance of this race, 6.5 furlongs, I have a feeling that that could be enough for this horse. Heavily favored. If you want to get some value out of this race, though, looking at the 6 horse, and this is a small race, you're talking about 7 horses, so it's really hard to get a whole lot of value. But I think Prius, being just off the pace, he's got the second best trainer, in my opinion, at least per our ratings. 4 wins in 10 races, 2 of them gate to wire. He could be pressuring Vitami in this one, and maybe he's the better of the two. We'll see. So I've got them number 3 and number 6, 1 and 2 right now. It should be an interesting race. Moving on, we're going into race 2. Ball gown, 5 to 2. This is the number 6 horse here. That's my safe play. Second to last race, pulling his numbers down. So that's why you see that recent race value is a big negative there. So let's go ahead and ignore that. Let's pull out the outlier. Some of the best speed figures across the board, including at Keeneland in this one. So 5 to 2, I think you might actually be getting value here because of that second to last race. It's Asmussen trained, which is always a positive. You look up and down here, Asmussen, maybe Thomas Amos. Those are 2 of the best trainers in this race. So that's got to be a consideration. My second horse I've got here, it's 6 to 1. The 7 horse, Mended We Stand. Best class, best speed figures for the distance. Really like this horse. He's going to be pushing the pace. There's going to be a bit of pace consideration also coming from the 2 here. So curious to see what's going to come of that. But yeah, 7, Mended We Stand, with Ricardo Santana on the mount. Moving on, we got race 3. It's going to be a slightly deeper race here, maiden race. So we got some firsters in here, which is always dangerous. But my safe play here at 4 to 1, the 12 horse Yuletide Gallop. The early speed, I've got him as a pace setter here. If you look at the pace settings, early speed coming down from an 8.5 furlong race to this 6 furlong race. So that's something to consider as well. This horse has been going at some longer distances. He's coming down to 6 furlongs. Could end up favoring him. My value play here is I'm going down 4 spots here. Got to expect maybe one of these 2 horses gets scratched. One Red Scent at 10 to 1, highest class of the race in terms of previous races. He's been racing the highest of the classes. Dropping in class in this one, can gain some ground. 3 tiers back is what I show him as the pace, but he's got that ground gaining ability. So One Red Scent at 10 to 1, I think you can get some pretty high value there. Moving along, we have, let me expand the screen for me to see a little bit here. Number 6 horse in this allowance race, Camp Daddy at 5 to 2 is the safe play here. Best jockey in the race, Tyler Gaffleone. And it's a horse that can close. 6 furlongs, you may not need much of a closer, but he's also a horse that sits just off the pace. So he's got just enough closing power to pass the pace setter and whoever's the pace pusher in this race. The value play for me, number 5, Magnificent Mile. Shout out to Chicago, great city. Should get the city that I'm currently in right now. The number 5 horse, Magnificent Mile. Similar to the previous horse, he's got a little bit of that closing power just off the pace. Recent race value isn't as great. The trainer jockey combo isn't as good, but of course, you're also getting better value here. 60% in the money rating for Magnificent Mile. Next up, we are in race five. Safe play for me. I'm going down 3 spots for the safe play here. This is a maiden special weight race. It's very often I do like to pass up some of the firsters and maiden special weight races, which is why I'm passing up Oive here. Although I really am tempted by the Cox Flavian Pratt firster, but it's also a deep race, so it might be a bit tougher for Oive. 11 Spirits Mischief finished third in a 120K maiden special weight race after leading the race most of the way at about the same distance as this, falling back 4 lengths off by the end of that race. But feeling in the second race, he could end up recovering here and having a very solid showing. Wesley Ward, Joro Corrales, I really like that combo here. And of course, my value play. Looking at the top here, my top horse is a value play at 8-1. Todd Pletcher horse out for the second time, comparable class to the top horses in this one. 50% in the money, but I mean, how can you pass up a Pletcher horse at 8-1? Seems just too good to be true. I like the fact that he's also just off the pace in terms of where his pace rating is. That's been one of the stronger winning pace ratings that we've had so far since we instituted this. In race six, we'll start at the top here. The 7 horse Bear Oak at 2-1, dropping in class. Good closing numbers for a 9 furlong race here for Bear Oak. Some of the best dirt figures in this race as well, dirt speed figures. In terms of value play, just going down one more step to Nordic Light. I really like Nordic Light here. 4 wins and 10 starts for Nordic Light. 2 in the last 3. So it's a horse that has been winning. 8-1. You also get yourself a Brad Cox, Laurent Giraud horse that's going to be sitting just off the pace. I mean, that seems too good to be true. I imagine once it comes to post time, you're not going to be getting 8-1. But as the morning line is set, I think that's a great value. Moving on to race 7, the safe play here. Looking at the top, shoot out the lights. 7-5, if I did my math right. Actually, no, that looks more like 9-5. Pardon me on the math. 2 wins in 4 tries. Easily the best speed figures, and and the distance is short in this one. Wesley Ward, John Velasquez. As you can see, my top 2 horses have the same trainer and jockey combo. The 13 horse, I'm assuming that horse is going to scratch, but if the 10 scratches instead, I would switch to the 13 horse. Just a little note for you there. If I'm going to go with a value play, going down to my 5th horse here, I'm expecting at least 1 scratch in between here and there. But I did like the fact that this one moved up 3 spots. I do skip on Frozen Squid here. It could end up backfiring on me, but I like the combination of value and race class that you're going to see with Four Dawn here. 1.5 median lengths off the lead there, and you're getting 8. You're getting 15-1 on Four Dawn. Seems too good to be true. Moving on to race 8, we're getting close to the end here. 7-5 odds, or 6-5 odds rather, on Raging Sea, the 8 horse. Chad Brown, Flavian Pratt. I mean, you look at that recent race value. It's heads and shoulders above the rest of the horses here. Got great closing power and a huge class drop. Sitting just off the pace. It feels like a single to me. The huge value here you get because of the BC Juvenile Filly race in which the horse finished third. That's hard to ignore in this class here. The value play for me is Shirley. Go ahead and try saying that. It's fun to say. 10-1 odds you're getting on this horse. Median lengths behind the winner is less than 100% in the money for Brad Cox horse, Florent Giraud. Looking like a really solid play here as your second horse. Race 9. Moving to the second horse that I've got here, I'm going to assume that Warrior Johnny scratches. Again, a number 15 horse in a 12-horse race. Probably going to be a scratch unless there's someone in between 1 and 12 that goes. But I'm going to assume that it's strong quality here at 7-2. Big class drop for the 2-time winner. Best speed figures for this distance, too. Really like that 42.8 recent race value. Mark Casse, Florent Giraud, all these things are really solid. Could end up being the pace setter in this race, too. At 8 furlongs, that might get it done. I'm gonna drop down. I'm assuming there's a few scratches here, so I'm not. It sounds like I'm dropping down super far, but it's not gonna be that far by the time all these scratches come in. To the number 3 horse, Cool House, 15-1. He's got an in the money finish rating of 80%. Struggled to hit the board in his last two times out, which is I think is why you're getting that 15-1. Um, Before that, he had 5 races in a row where he's hitting in the money. A few of those races being 100K plus purses. So this horse has won and placed in some pretty high class races comparable to this race. So I don't want to ignore that. I think Coolhouse is definitely a tempting horse to play here at the number 3. And finally, let's close this out. The safe play here for me is Mahoney Road. Got him as my number 2 in terms of power figures, but there's a couple other things I like about him here at 4-1, avoiding the first of 2 pace setters. So 11, the Captivated Drama, and the 10. Thank thank God in Greyhound. Thank God in Greyhound. It's a silly name. I want to avoid those two because I think they could be battling for the pace here. Sitting behind the pace could be Mahoney Road, possibly a good spot for him. And opting for a pace pusher at 6.5 furlongs, I think, is probably the smarter play. If I'm going to go for the value play, I'm dropping down to the 4th horse here that I've got, Libertango. I do like Libertango. I know I've got Pistol or Shotgun jumping up 5 spots, the 20-1. But it's hard for me to overlook some of the value you get with the speed figures of Libertango, and also at the park, second to Mahoney in terms of speed figures for this park. Good value on his races, and he's got some solid class average in the last 5 races. So there you have it. Let me remove that. What do you guys think? This is the Friday slates. What are your singles? What are your favorite plays? Do you have any good? Yeah, do you have any good value plays? Let me know what your value plays are. Are they better than mine? We'll see. Peace out.